Guys, this is MCOGAMER27 here. Today we're going to have a quick podcast about 25 minutes discussing breaking news. Jim Ryan calls out Phil Spencer, myself, and my nephew Eli. I see you guys soon. Let's hit the intro. MCO Gamer 27. I hope everyone is having a very nice day. Today we're gonna have a quick discussion about the big news. We got Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan. Actually, to be honest, guys, I'm very disappointed. But I will tell you why later. Right now we have my nephew Elias that I respect his opinion to the highest as a gamer. Eli, as we know, today the time is 6 o'clock in the evening Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, and we got the latest news, the most accurate. Eli, we just saw John, and we just saw a lot of different media outlets. So tell us what's going on. Go ahead,
Well,
Eli.
Jim Ryan, well, let's see. Phil Spencer made a comment about Call of Duty being available on PlayStation for several years. The day before, well, let's go back, right? He has constantly said, because Call of Duty being the biggest Activision franchise, the one that makes Sony the most money, and in their argument for regulators, which is fair competition, has, you know, has been the topic of discussion. Microsoft has constantly said, we'll have Call of Duty there. They haven't specified anything at all. And then as of September 1st, Phil made an official comment after they, in my
You cut off Eli. We lost Eli. Eli, you cut off.
opinion, a lot of people say
Hold
that
on,
this
Eli. Eli, you cut off completely for those 30 seconds. Completely.
now.
Okay, go ahead. Start from the beginning again, like from 30 seconds.
I'm not sure what to say, but back when the Activision deal had initially started, we had lots of things going around, and Sony was, in my opinion, understandably concerned because of Call of Duty being a part of this acquisition that makes a lot of money for the industry as a whole, but especially Sony, where it is booming most. So Microsoft has made many comments about how they will respect the contracts that Sony has in place, which is
Okay.
only, of course, a handful of years.
Now, no, mind you, no. The contract was 2 years. That we are gonna get into it. Go ahead. The 2 years with the marketing. Go ahead.
2-year contract. So Phil Spencer has been very intelligently vague, right? No, we're gonna respect the contract. We're absolutely gonna respect the contract and gamers on PlayStation, yada yada. And I think he has done an amazing job at keeping a good family-friendly, gamer-friendly persona. I think he believes it. I think it's what he is. But of course, from a a political standpoint, an industry standpoint, he's kept a very consistent persona, more than I've seen anybody in the industry do so. But after the UK recently, the UK regulators sucker punched Xbox in the gut and said publicly, we are not convinced that this will not hurt competition. Some people think that's the whole point, and no, that's not what they mean. Fair competition is what is allowed, right? So I think the argument now from the UK regulators has been, is it fair for them to obtain all of Activision, especially Call of Duty, which is a lot of funding that Sony gets. It sells the most on PlayStation. It sells on everything, but the most on PlayStation. And you can only imagine that Sony uses those funds to continue to make their exclusive big hitter blockbuster titles, right?
Correct.
So now recently, as of September 1st, as we were talking earlier, to combat the sucker punch from the UK regulators, Phil Spencer, which came off very, very powerful initially, was talking about how what was his words? As we have said many times before, which is not what he said. Right. We will continue to release Call of Duty day and date, and the same day that it releases on other platforms. We believe in fair distribution and the right for developers to distribute the games where they want and how they please.
Correct.
This was a perfect counter thing to say, very beautifully written to what the UK regulators were feeling. However, I can only imagine that was not part of the plan.
Right.
Phil.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
I was just gonna say, I think that the higher ups, even above Phil, said, I think we know that's not the plan, Phil, and you've done a great job at being intelligently vague for the PR without saying it, but we can all infer what's going to happen, that it's not going to stay on PlayStation forever. But his words this time, to ease the regulators, which it very well might have for 24 hours, left the impression to everyone, regulators and including Phil's bosses, I'm sure, that it is going to remain day and date on the PlayStation platform at the same time that it releases on other platforms. He didn't mention contracts. He ignored contract. He just said every time a Call of Duty game releases. That's what he said.
Right. Right. And to also look good. So this is the big problem.
Absolutely.
The big problem is that he said, out of good faith, not word for word, but out of good faith, Phil said, we're going to add several years. Correct? Correct.
Day. So on September 1st, he literally, to appease the regulators and to do damage control. No, day and date. It's going to be on other platforms as well.
Right.
The one day later, he releases a comment and says, we offer PlayStation several years. That is a complete contradiction to the day before, and you can only imagine, I can only imagine that his PR team said, no, you got to fix that. Because we know that we are not going to do that in the future, and that'll bite them back in the ass in the next 5 to 8 years.
Right.
Big time.
But also, he said it like in good faith. Well, we are going to add several. Now, guys, the word several could mean 20 years. It could mean 15 years. It could mean 5 years. But Jim Ryan today shot back. Now, guys, I respect everyone. But Phil Spencer, he is my guy. Like everyone knows. But I'm fair. And I was talking to I was telling my nephew that I'm very disappointed within Phil. Now, I'm a Phil guy. I respect him. I think that guy has done, he has changed. He has innovated gaming to a whole other level. But I am very disappointed because now, this is according to everything. All these are factuals. According to Mr. Jim Ryan, officially he said.
Just to reiterate, after the retraction from it'll always be on PlayStation, the very next day he retracted and said several years. Several years.
Now remember the word several. So today Jim Ryan said that he was very disappointed with Phil Spencer because he thought it was a private conversation between two men, between two business guys, making a deal. But as it turns out, the contract for Activision is only 2 years. That's with marketing, all that. The several years were only going to equal to how many years, Eli?
3 years.
3 years. So now 3 plus 2 is what? 5. Now, you know, I'm very disappointed because now you could ask my nephew all over console wars. Now there's a console war for real, because you got the two biggest powerful men in gaming actually disrespecting each other because Jim Ryan thought he was in a private conversation. Am I correct on that statement, Eli? Eli? Eli left. Elias? Eli?
Yes. Yeah, we all know that it was a private conversation. They had a private business call. You know, these calls happen all the time. We will never know everything that happens behind closed doors. Phil went a little too far by using the wording that he used, saying that they will allow developers to distribute how they want, and it will always come out day and date on PlayStation as it does on other platforms. He started going on TVs, but that means that every time Call of Duty comes out on the TV, it'll come out on the PlayStation as well. This is his words that September 1st. He retracted it the next day. And I think he took some heat for the words that he used. And I think he retracted it the next day by revealing an offer that is unofficial, that was not accepted by PlayStation. And it makes PlayStation look bad as if he's giving them a handout. And he says, we offer them several years. But that is to make him look good, make them look like they don't have to do this. They're being nice. But that's a private conversation.
Correct.
Not only contradictory to everything you said less than 24 hours ago. It's a private conversation, a business conversation, and you threw it out to the world when Sony clearly has not agreed to it.
Correct. Now these two head honchos, the biggest powerful men in gaming, like I was telling both of my nephews, see, because I'm already 50 years old. You know, I'm not a young kid no more. You know, my channel, it is like to bring love and, you know, one family, one community. And right now, you could ask my nephew, right, Eli? All over Twitter, videos, all the console wars. Now these are the men that are creating the console wars. Eli, how serious you think this really is?
It's funny because honestly, I don't think we haven't seen. What's the word I want to use?
I haven't
need to
seen
see Phil Spencer's response.
Right.
What's his response now? As of right now, I honestly believe that Ryan had every right.
To
What
call him
Phil
out.
did was extremely unprofessional. What
To
I'm
call
afraid
him
of
out.
is that, yeah, absolutely. That is a private conversation regarding the future of our business and how we fund our exclusive games that represents our identity. You have Game Pass. We have our $1 million blockbusters. Call of Duty funds that. We all know that's where a lot of their funding comes from. So we have now. I think when you throw that out there to make yourself look good when we know we're getting the short end of the stick, I think Jim Ryan had every right to say, how dare you try to make it look good? 3 measly years, and Jim Ryan says it was inadequate.
Right.
Now, what's funny is, in one sense, you would think, we don't gotta offer you nothing.
That's true, because they own it. In one
sense, if they own it, if it goes through, that's mine. You know what I'm saying? In one sense, and I see that. I agree with that. On the other sense, I do think that when it comes to competition and really just developing games, Game Pass aside, I think Sony has just constantly been on top. And for me, it feels like, two boxers are in a ring and Sony just comes out with the stronger punches when it comes to game releases and just innovating gaming. And then it feels like instead of Microsoft being able to box back, Game Pass to me was a great way to have a totally separate. I told you, different.
So go ahead.
Do you think it's me or your internet?
Don't worry about that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Deal.
You don't hear me? Hello.
Deal.
Alright, we lost them. Hello. I know.
Yo.
We lost you. I can't hear you. Let me call him. Let me call him. Eli. Yeah. All right.
Yo.
You could hear me now?
Yeah. I think it's your end, man.
No, not mine, Papa. I'm good over here.
Yo, my mic is working. My internet has
Mine,
gone down.
no, mine's assumed. Anyway,
Maybe it's Discord. Maybe it's Discord.
Yeah, don't worry about it, because I could just edit this anyway. All right, so let's wait 30 seconds again. Oh, okay, Eli. Continue with your thought, please.
So I guess I'll start again. For me, it feels like, and one, and again, Microsoft does not have to share Call of Duty if it goes through. It's theirs, right?
Correct.
And some people are making the comparison of, well, Sony took Final Fantasy. You're taking a game from a company where the company as a whole is not doing so good. They sold the Western branch. You have a company whose really main game is Final Fantasy, and before Final Fantasy VII Remake was even successful, they invested and supported the production of it. And it's on PC, so it's not fully exclusive either. I know it took a year and a half. But I think that when you have a game that falls under fair competition, I got it first, and you have someone who buys the competition, it kind of feels like I understand the worries of the UK regulators when they say this might be unfair for competition.
Correct.
They don't have to share Call of Duty, but I don't think you can ignore Sony, because I think Sony has a good point. Instead of just outperforming us in the industry, you're buying a major source of our income that we use to provide other games in our business. And it is not, I understand the sensation that it's not fair.
But to be fair, Sony has done a lot of stuff in the past too, Eli. Let's be fair.
They have never purchased something that directly affects the competition.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. When it affects the industry's fair competition, it does matter.
Okay, all right. Okay. No, wait. When you put it that way, yes. But like, let's be fair. Tony has done a lot of shady stuff prior.
Yeah, so Sony's not the most consumer friendly app.
Okay, no, that's all I wanted to. No. I that's all I just wanted to say.
Absolutely.
Okay, but now, okay, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, but I think consumer friendly, that's a whole nother conversation. I think Microsoft has, ever since after the PS4, they came back and definitely are much more. Halfway through the PS4's lifespan, ever since Phil Spencer came around, they've been much more consumer friendly than Xbox. But nothing Sony does affects the way Xbox operates.
Okay, right? So now, let's get, because this is only going to be, guys, only like 20-25 minutes. Like, for quickly now, Eli, let's be devil's advocate, you and I. Right now, I think Phil Spencer is with his PR team, thinking, because he has to respond. Do you agree?
Absolutely. He has to respond, and I think he needs to make sure to not make. I think his response on September 1st is an acknowledged mistake within his team, and I think now they need to make sure no more mistakes are made.
But now, is it possible? Now we're just doing a tinfoil hat. I think Phil Spencer is probably talked to Jim Ryan after that fact. If I know the man that Phil is, that he seems like a gentleman, because I don't know him personally. A gentleman will call him a gentleman, man to man. So I'm doing just devil advocate here. I think Phil already spoke to Jim already, and I think they're in the PR room having meetings about this. What do you think?
I think they'll be having meetings for a long time. I think Sony is building up the public eye and other regulators outside of the UK to pay attention. I think that when you have someone who's positioning themselves in front of regulators as open and honest, and you retract a comment on the next day, and it's a private conversation from a private business meeting, I think it doesn't paint you in a good look when you're trying to get this acquisition to push through. I think they're absolutely going to have many meetings. I think Sony is going to try to push more than they have a right to.
Right.
I think Sony needs to accept that Call of Duty is going to stay. It's going to eventually be off of PlayStation platforms. I think maybe Sony is hoping to hold Call of Duty long enough for their live services to kick off and hopefully be successful.
But to be fair, look, at the end of the day, eventually, do you agree, Eli, that it will go exclusive? If I'm paying $68.8 billion, I'm putting it as a business deal exclusive. What do you feel about that?
If it's such a problem, they can keep every other game exclusive, leave Call of Duty on PlayStation, still make their money's worth, and push the deal through. And I think that's better than not getting Activision at all.
But to be fair, I agree with you that when Phil Spencer said that September 1st, correct? He went back and the higher up said, brother, we paid $68.8 billion. We wanted this exclusive at one time or the other. Is that fair to say that? Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. So then to try to look good in front of regulators, which to me it does not. Hey, we offer them 3 years. Like, we're trying to be nice. Like, again, you don't have to, right? If you own it, it is what it is. But I think, in my mind, they're still gonna get their money's worth if it's on Game Pass. I don't think Call of Duty is something that needs to be exclusive, but I also think that they don't need to give you a handout. What are they getting for it? They're gonna get money for every copy that sells on PlayStation if they wanted to do it that way. But if they really want to push their brand, I mean, long term, they're probably thinking in 100 years, if we're on the cloud and everything, maybe they want to be the only gaming platform. Who knows?
But
but
but according to John from Spawnway Media, he makes a point. Like the next gen, let's say PS6, right? Because most likely Call of Duty will be in the remainder of this generation, right? Because 4 or 5 years. Imagine having that on your box, exclusive Call of Duty on the next gen. It is attractive. Game Pass, first day. Yep. It is attractive.
No, it's attractive. I mean, and
it's attractive.
I'm very professional. I have my professional opinion and my personal opinion.
Right.
My personal opinion, I'm not Sony. I have every console. I'm a player regardless.
Correct. Right? We've been blessed, yes.
Yes. When it comes to what's fair, when it comes to, I understand. I mean, if you look at it, they're not complaining about all of. They have hundreds of titles, technically, of IPs. Sony is only worried about the thing that helps them fund and do what they do for the other exclusives. It's free, right? They don't personally develop Call of Duty, but it gives them all the money in the world to develop what they want to develop. I think this means that if this goes through, when it does go exclusive, and I think it will, I think that we're gonna have a slower rate of quality games from Sony because they won't have the money to do multiple things at once like they used to. That's what I think.
Okay, so this is final thoughts, guys. So Elias, do you believe that Phil Spencer spoke to Jim Ryan already? Thinking the gentleman that I think he is, or what you think?
He called him and cursed him out.
No.
No. Again. I think right now.
I think Phil Spencer.
I don't think Phil Spencer is a gentleman behind closed doors. I think it takes a lot of balls and a really hardcore guy to.
Oh, I lost him again. Eli?
Jim, let's work this out. I think he said, you gotta pull up the diapers, be big boys, and have a conversation. That's what I think. I think they're mad. Behind closed doors, they're mad. He's mad. I think Jim Ryan has a right to be mad because you made yourself look good while you offered us scraps. I think, and you're lying to people and retracting. You lied, did it? You got caught. You've been very smart. I don't think I've ever seen him slip. in years, and he slipped. September 1st and 2nd, in 24
Right.
hours, he slipped.
Now,
the first time.
Now,
And
also,
Ryan is rightfully mad.
Also, to be fair, what Eli said prior, Sony did not agree on those several years. They just sent a proposition to, in good faith. Papa Spencer tried to do good PR, and it hurt him. You get it?
For something to be considered several, 3 is the absolute minimum. So they
Exactly.
offered him the absolute
Exactly.
minimum. There is a 1, there is a couple, and then there's several. They offered them the minimum of
This
several.
is why I opened up this whole conversation with several. The word several could mean a lot. It could mean 20 years. It could mean 3 years. And they gave them bone minimum 3 years. But anyway, guys.
There are people who always play Call of Duty on their PlayStation.
Yeah.
There are people who they're comfortable there. The same way that I bought Mass Effect. When Mass Effect went to PlayStation, I was mad because for me, I shouldn't have been. I'm a kid, but I was mad because for me, that was one of the only reasons my Xbox 360 was good for. Whatever. Right. If y'all like Xbox, for me, I wasn't a Halo fan, right?
Correct.
One more thing, Phil, I think we have to have a conversation. I think that Phil's age of plausible deniability is running out. I think he came into it. I think that's something that's the bigger picture here too. I think he came in saying he's trying to help developers, fix developers, let them do their best, and yada yada. But he came around. We've had a couple of Halos, and they've not been good. Halo was not the banger it should have been. It had great gameplay, but not great substance. Forza was good. They've been good. Forza was good. But Microsoft does not have a track record of helping gaming companies be better in the public eye. Mm-hmm. So, and now we have rumors of, now you have his persona taking a hit, a big one for the first time. And we have a lot of rumors that a lot of games in development for Microsoft, exclusive studios that they bought, there's 3 of them that are very highly rumored and supported rumors from credible people to be in very tough development hell right now. If these don't perform, his entire strategy for the last near decade of being friendly, and building up the repertoire of exclusives and then for Game Pass, it's not going to be good if every quarter you release a big game and the game is not strong and this game is just another Halo. I think he's gonna, all the respect he's garnered, if he doesn't have some bangers, whether he gets Activision or not, these games needs a couple bangers.
Yep.
Or while he did change the industry in one way, he would have failed Xbox and these other developing companies and studios he bought in another. Right. Meaning that Xbox is still going to be amazing for Game Pass, but you have to break out of that curse, of that generational curse of, hey, our exclusive games are mediocre or good every 10. That's a problem. Right. And he's going to look really bad if he can't turn it around. That's part of his strategy to turn it around.
Yep. Well, guys, with that said, okay, that's a whole other discussion, Eli, and we'll definitely have it on the next podcast, my brother. Eli, thank you. I respect your opinion so much. This is MCOGAMER27. Peace.